Welcome to this presentation on Mendelian genetics. Today, we'll explore the experiments conducted by Gregor Mendel, his laws of inheritance, and the basics of monohybrid and dihybrid crosses. Gregor Mendel, often referred to as the father of genetics, was an Austrian monk who conducted experiments on pea plants in the mid-19th century. His choice of pea plants was strategic because they have distinct characteristics and can be easily cross-pollinated. Mendel began his experiments by cross-pollinating purebred plants with contrasting traits. For example, he crossed tall plants with short plants to observe the resulting offspring. In the first filial, F1, generation, Mendel observed that all offspring were tall, demonstrating the dominance of the tall trait over the short trait. Mendel then allowed the F1 plants to self-pollinate, resulting in a second filial, F2, generation with a 3:1 ratio of tall to short plants. This showed the reappearance of the recessive short trait. Mendel formulated two key laws of inheritance from his experiments, the law of segregation and the law of independent assortment. These laws describe how alleles for traits are passed down through generations. The law of segregation states that during the formation of gametes, the two alleles for a trait separate. For example, in pea plants, if P purple is dominant and P white is recessive, crossing PP homozygous dominant purple with PP homozygous recessive white results in all PP heterozygous purple offspring in the F1 generation. In the F2 generation, the ratio is 3 purple to 1 white. The law of independent assortment states that alleles for different traits are distributed to gametes independently. For example, crossing plants with round yellow seeds, RRYY, and wrinkled green seeds, RRYY, results in a 9:3:3:1 ratio of different combinations in the F2 generation. Let's take a moment to test your understanding of what we've covered so far. Please choose the correct answers to the following questions. A monohybrid cross involves observing the inheritance of a single trait. In this example, we cross plants with purple flowers, PP homozygous dominant, and white flowers, PP homozygous recessive. The parental, P, generation consists of one plant with purple flowers and one with white flowers. When these plants are crossed, the first filial, F1, generation produces all purple-flowered offspring, PP heterozygous, demonstrating the dominance of the purple allele. Allowing the F1 generation to self-pollinate results in a second filial, F2, generation with a phenotypic ratio of 3 purple to 1 white, as illustrated by the Punnett square. Let's solve a JAMB question on monohybrid cross. The allele for tallness, T, in pea plants is dominant over the allele for shortness, T. If we cross a homozygous tall plant, TT, with a heterozygous tall plant, TT, we set up the Punnett square to find the possible genotypes of the offspring. The parental generation is TT crossed with TT. When we fill in the Punnett square, we see the offspring genotypes are 2TT homozygous, 2TT heterozygous. This gives us a phenotypic ratio of 100% tall plants. Here's another example of a JAMB question on monohybrid cross. The allele for red petals, R, is dominant over the allele for white petals, R, in a certain species of flowers. When two heterozygous red petal flowers, RR, are crossed, we can use a Punnett square to determine the offspring genotypes. The parental generation is RR heterozygous crossed with another RR heterozygous. The Punnett square shows the offspring genotypes as RR homozygous dominant, 2 RR heterozygous, and RR homozygous recessive. This results in a phenotypic ratio of 3 red petal flowers to 1 white petal flower. A dihybrid cross involves observing the inheritance of 2 traits simultaneously. In this example, we cross plants with round yellow seeds, RRYY, and plants with wrinkled green seeds, RRYY. The parental, P, generation consists of 1 plant with round yellow seeds and 1 with wrinkled green seeds. When these plants are crossed, the first filial, F1, generation produces all round yellow offspring, RRYY, demonstrating the dominance of the round and yellow alleles. Allowing the F1 generation to self-pollinate results in a second filial, F2, generation with a phenotypic ratio of 9 round yellow, 3 round green, 3 wrinkled yellow, and 1 wrinkled green, as illustrated by the Punnett square. Let's take a moment to test your understanding of what we've covered so far. Please choose the correct answers to the following questions. To summarize, Gregor Mendel's experiments and laws laid the foundation of modern genetics, explaining how traits are passed from one generation to the next. Thanks for watching. To deepen your understanding of any topic, explore our comprehensive resources, including revision notes, past questions, gamified quizzes, and workbooks. These tools are designed to help you master the concepts effectively and enjoyably.